May I be of assistance? Out of the question. Company regulations forbid it. I cannot accept gifts. Mr. Haderlitz wishes to convey his appreciation for your recent match. He'd like you to have this ring, as a token of his friendship. He seemed to think that you'd know what to do with it. Confidentially, I thought the young gentleman quite brooding, even for a German. I believe Mr. Haderlitz is still at his swashbuckling, on the squash court. Perhaps you should visit him. Enter. See if you can help. It appears you have forgotten something. Have you checked your dresser? Or the bed for your personal belongings? Such items can be useful to you. May I be of assistance? The purser. His office is on C deck, just off the forward grand stairs. The elevator, or lift as we call it, has an attendant who can direct you to various sections of the ship. The elevator, or lift as we call it, has an attendant who can direct you to various sections of the ship. The lifts are located behind the forward grand staircase. A certain Mr. Trask appears quite prescient about such matters. He's somewhere on board. Miss Pringle may have an idea. She is quite opinionated. Her room is F-34, that's F deck, in the second class. Before I forget, Lady Georgia desires to meet with you. She is outside on the A-deck promenade. Remember, you may always contact me by returning here and ringing the bell. This is your cabin, C-73. Very good. We of the White Star Line hope that your stay on board Titanic is as relaxing as possible. As you explore the ship, please bear in mind the following advice. The mouse is your hands, the keys your feet. If you find the screen too dark or too bright, follow the directions on the control screen help panel or consult your manual on adjusting your monitor. To find the control panel help and other features, click on the life preserver at the bottom of the screen. The control panel has a help button, as well as a quit and save game feature. You may also adjust the volume. Test the settings by clicking on the black knob. You may also switch the theme music on or off. After making any adjustments, click OK to return to your current game. Wandering the ship, if you notice a hand, it indicates something to click on. May I suggest you do so. Several personal items in your room, a brown satchel, and a pocket watch are quite useful to you during your voyage. Take them with you. You shall want to converse with other passengers. If you fail to understand them, click on their face. They will repeat their last sentence. Lastly, you may always find me by returning to your cabin, C-73, and ringing the bell to the right of the door. Good evening. I am Smethels, your steward, and, if I may say so, it is good to see you up and about. You've been in your cabin the whole voyage. A touch of the mal de mer, was it? Seasickness can be quite unpleasant, especially if it's one's first crossing. Since you haven't been out of your cabin, may I instruct you on how to get assistance while on board the Titanic? Very well. Your correspondence. Here, a map of the ship for you. Compliments of the White Star Line. I have taken the liberty of indicating your cabin, C-73. Of course, on a Sunday evening at this hour, there won't be many people out. Will there be anything else? A young lady. A most insistent young lady. The electric camel. An exercise device. They say it is good for the liver. I wouldn't know. It's located in the gymnasium, on the boat deck, on the starboard side. That's the right side, in case you had not been informed. Port. If you're facing towards the front of the ship, the left side is the port side. Most certainly, remember the term forward. It means towards the front, or bow, of the ship. The term aft refers to the Titanic's back, or stern. Very good. Have you unpacked? You'll find your trunk key in your bag on the bed. And remember your personal effects, your watch and bag. If you require additional assistance, please ring the bell by the door. Good night. There you are. If I may say so, you do get about. Miss Pringle. She has asked to see you in her cabin. Certainly. She said it is urgent. Cabin F-34, on F deck. That's 5 decks below this one, in second class. The deck below this one, in second class. Are you wandering about? There is a card game in progress in the smoking room, held by a French gentleman. I suggest you contact the importunate Miss Pringle. If you're in a hurry, the Titanic has lifts for fast ascension and descension. They're behind the stairs. Oh, I would never play games with the French. They cheat. The gymnasium is on the boat deck, on the starboard side. Take the lift behind the staircase to A deck, and then go up the grand staircase to the boat deck. If you're in a hurry, there are lifts for fast ascension and descension. They're behind these stairs. Good night. Still wandering? This ship holds a strange fascination for you. Most peculiar. I've a message from a young German gentleman by the name of Hederlitz. He would like to meet you in the squash court. They've opened it for him. Highly irregular, I must say, especially for fencing. Surely he is. The percentage of passengers demanding the courts late on a Sunday night is small. Minuscule, actually. Yes, apparently he does not favor racket sports. If memory serves me, there is an entrance to the squash courts on D deck. Meanwhile, I shall inform the young German gentleman that you will meet him presently. Most regrettable. Most regrettable indeed. The young German gentleman, dead. In the electric bath. Quite unanticipated. He was alive. Most vocally, too, just a few hours before, arguing with someone on B deck. The gentleman's voice was unfamiliar. About a painting. He'd misplaced it. And the other gentleman wanted to know where it was. Yes, I believe Dr. O'Loughlin is waiting to move him, so as not to alarm the other passengers. It is, I must warn you, a most unpleasant sight. This is most irregular. Most irregular indeed. Really, I find it the height of drudgery to track you about this ship. Your constant meanderings make it difficult for me to attend my other charges. Miss Pringle insists that you see her, immediately, in her cabin. You two are thicker than thieves, and larceny is probably what you're up to. Do go see Miss Pringle. Trying to find something? We have high hopes. High hopes for you, eventually. Good night. The poop deck, is it? Take the second-class stairs to B deck. Once there, go outside and head aft, towards the stern, past the third-class promenade. The poop deck's at the very end of the ship. Such fascination with steerage passengers is most baffling. I suspect foul play. 2,200 on board, and they all want messages delivered promptly. Even if it is 1912, and the Titanic, the most advanced means of sea conveyance ever devised, I still have only 2 hands. Excuse me. Oh dear, that won't do at all. Perhaps you should be more careful. You've shut up. How unusual. Shall I summon the doctor? You are saying? Will that be all? I have my other charges to attend to. Do you require assistance? Are we experiencing a rare moment of reflection? Yes, no, right, wrong. Excuse me, Carlson. Good night, goodbye. Hello, thank you. Have you made preparations? I fear this incline is only growing more precipitous. Very good. If you won't be needing any further assistance, I believe the expression is, every man for himself. And you. May I say I have never served a more challenging passenger. Goodbye. Yes? The lounge is closed for the night. We'd open it again only in an emergency. which we are not experiencing at the moment. Good night. I was wondering when you'd arrive. Welcome aboard the Titanic. I am Smethels, your steward. I have a letter for you from Bruce Ismay, your host. You are now free to explore the ship at your convenience. Do you desire additional instructions? The line has instructed me to relay the following information. Like her twin sister, the Olympic, the Titanic was built at the shipyards of Harland and Wolff in Belfast, Ireland. Construction began in March 1909. At over 46,000 tons, the Titanic is the largest ship in the world. A triple-screw steamer, she has 3 propellers. This, one of the wing propellers, is 23 feet in diameter. The ship is powered by 29 coal-fired boilers and runs at a top speed of 23 knots. The ship is 882 feet, 9 inches long, and 92.5 feet wide. Stood on end, she would dwarf the great buildings of the world, including the planet's tallest, the 750-foot-high Woolworth Building in New York. The Titanic's outfitting was completed in March of this year. After only 1 day of sea trials, she proceeded directly to Southampton for provisioning and the boarding of her 2,200 passengers and crew. The ship is under the command of Captain E.J. Smith, who has over 40 years of experience on the sea. Most recently, he commanded the Olympic on her maiden voyage. He is the White Star Line's most trusted officer, and you can be assured of your safety in his hands. We will arrive in New York no later than Thursday, April 18th, and possibly even earlier. The Titanic is your home until then. Please do not fail to avail yourself of the many luxuries and amusements she has to offer. At any time, you may click on the ship symbol below to view the passengers and crew who volunteered to serve as your personal tour guides. Click on their picture. You will go to their onboard location automatically, where they will relay news and information. I trust you'll find it fascinating. If you have an internet browser, new guides will be available periodically on Cyberflix's homepage on the World Wide Web. Our address: www.cyberflix.com. Remember, you must first quit the CD-ROM to download new guides. I am most certain you will find the internet to be the very latest in modern technology, just like the Titanic. Now, if you will excuse me, good night. The control panel has a help button as well as a quit feature. Remember, you cannot save your tour. After making any adjustments, click OK to return to your current scene.